How are we, legends? Welcome back to the channel. This morning, a little bit of a different one. We're heading out to the Spit to meet up with a bloke that I recently met at the gym, Jeremy Donovan. We're going to go for a bit of a stroll along the beach, have a bit of a yarn with him, find out a bit about him, and then after that we're going to go and hit the gym. It is about 6:15 in the morning. Beautiful morning here on the Gold Coast. So yeah, it was a bit of a funny story actually. I was at the gym and Jeremy's come up to me and said that he recognised me and follows my podcast and this and that, and I really respect when people will do that. You know, it's starting to happen quite regularly, and it's fucking weird, man, but it's good, you know. But yeah, he just seems like a true gentleman. You know, we have a few mutual friends, you know, through social media and whatnot, and yeah, just overall a top fella. So we'll head out here and I'll introduce us to him. For those that watch this, never been to the Gold Coast, here's a bit of a sneak peek at SeaWorld. Just here you got the big infamous wooden roller coaster. Fucking crazy. I think it's the fastest wooden roller coaster in the country. But yeah, come back. I'm not sure exactly how long ago it was now. Just over a year, maybe a bit longer. We were there and unfortunately witnessed that horrific helicopter crash. I think 4 people lost their lives. It was fucking horrific. It was like something you'd see on a movie, honestly. For us to be there and witness it happen, like, it was absolutely crazy. I remember just after it happened, you know, everybody trying to get out of there, and we were walking out, and there was a lady, an older woman there, standing there at the entrance, speaking to I think it may have been a police officer or a paramedic maybe, or somebody in a uniform anyway, and they must have just informed her that she'd lost a loved one. And this lady broke down so badly, like she fell to the ground, you know, and was bawling her eyes out, and it was horrific, you know. And I had my kids there with me, Amali and Harlow, and you know, no kid should have to witness that, you know, let alone the helicopter crash itself. So yeah, it's safe to say it's left a bit of trauma there, that's for sure. But we're just arriving at the Spit now, going to catch up with the brother. Have a fucking look at this, guys. And I'm here with brother Jeremy. How you going, my bro?
What's up, bro?
Tell them how we met, brother.
Well, we were just in World Gym. I was in there training with my son the other day, and Tonksy was in there, and I just pulled him up and I said to him, "Fuck, bro, I really love your podcast. I love your content, and I'm proud of you."
Yeah, 100%, bro. It meant the world to me, you know. Like, especially when you're in your, you know, early stages of trying to turn your life around, and you know, putting that positive message out there, and then having blokes like yourself come up and say that, bro, it made me day, you know.
Yeah, I think a simple message from a stranger can be like more powerful than from people that we've known all our life sometimes.
Definitely, bro, definitely. And you know, and then like once I got home and that, the more I looked into you, bro, I had seen you floating about on socials and stuff, you know. Your face was familiar straight away to me too, you know. But tell us a little bit about yourself, bro. And
well,
yeah,
I got, you know, I've got a really great life today, bro. You know, we're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. You know, we try and perfect things on a daily basis, but you know, I run a couple of businesses. I've got my business Native Arts with the bro Matty Tapaya, which is all big, large, like graph mural installations.
Yeah, I've checked a bit of that out on your Insta.
I've got a small business called Centurions, which is a men's wellbeing online platform.
Yeah, mad. Yeah.
I do a lot of public speaking, which is a lot about sharing my story and the life that I've lived, and I guess the place we want to get out to.
Yeah.
Soft sand's a bit hard to walk in, bro.
It is, bro. It's fucking cold too.
We need to get in on this flat surface. us big units sink in the sand.
Tell us a little bit about, who you were before you come this version of yourself, bro.
Yeah. I think, one of the interesting things is we've all been many versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
So I was born up in Far North Queensland, Aboriginal father, white mother.
Yep.
In and out of the group home system, the foster care system, incarcerated at 13 for the first time. Just a product of the environment, really. Not a bad person, just we were just surviving. At a young age, didn't like smoking weed, and because I didn't want to sit down, the ADHD part of me was like, keep moving.
Yep.
And so speed became the gateway drug, the poor man's coke.
Yeah. Yep.
And it also was something in Sydney at that time. It was. So
that's where you're from, like that.
Yeah, predominantly
Sydney?
Grew up in Sydney, in on the northern beaches in Redfern.
Yep.
But so from a young age, we were, buying fucking bass and.
Yep.
And then just, selling it where we could. It was like, back then it was like $50 a bag, and, it was like going like hotcakes.
Yeah, 100%, I can only imagine. Bro.
And
when you say back then, what sort of years are we talking like?
Well, in the early 90s, I guess 93 would have been when I started like moving shit in Sydney.
Yep.
As a teenager, as a kid, I guess that, I reflect on it now in life with a little bit more emotional intelligence, that
100%.
I was probably always an entrepreneur, like always was looking at ways we could make money.
Yep. I definitely relate there too, bro. 100%. And whether it's been legally or illegally,
Yeah.
like 100%.
And, like from there, like sort of in and out of the detention centres as a young person, and 18 years old, I came out of Silverwater Remand. And I went straight back to North Queensland, back to where my father's country is, and and that changed my life dramatically because it was my circuit breaker.
Yep.
Like, got me out of Sydney, back to community, back to culture, and then my grandfather and grandmother were like such amazing people. Old people that had seen such incredible change, staunchly cultural. So Google Yalani or Google Nyugu was first language.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
And we're on a cattle station,
So this is obviously your dad's...
Aboriginal side of the family.
The dad's side, yep.
Like the closest thing I'd been to a horse was a stolen Mustang, So to be on a cattle station, and it was life-changing, and then in the year 2000, I got really lucky. I say it was luck, because it was the right place at the right time. That I was playing Yiraki or Yiggy Yiggy Didgeridoo. At Lakeland Downs Roadhouse, and I was sitting down with all our old people, and we were getting ready for a funeral. And a couple of brothers saw me playing, and they were kind of perplexed. Who's this little white kid, singing traditional songs and playing didgeridoo for all these old people?
Yeah, right. Yeah, gotcha.
And these brothers, they were brothers David Page, Russell Page, Stephen Page. They were from Bangarra Aboriginal Dance.
Okay, yeah.
Which is still today the most successful Aboriginal dance theatre company. But they asked me if I'd be interested in coming to Sydney as part of cultural choreography in preparation for Sydney Olympic Games. And so in the year 2000, I went back to Sydney. In September 2000, I was the didgeridoo player who opened up the Sydney Olympics.
Wow, bro! I did. I've seen that. Must have been an interview you did with a woman there on your Instagram.
Yeah.
When you mentioned that, that's fucking huge, bro. I remember, I was only obviously a little primary school kid at the time, when the Sydney Olympics were on, but I remember watching that big fucking opening and closing ceremonies and that as a kid, you know. It was like, that's insane to,
But the crazy part of it is, like the night that Kathy Freeman won that 400 metre race.
Yep, the old famous 400.
I was, I'd been invited to like this corporate studio at the top of the stadium with all that in a box. I was playing didgeridoo for like corporate clients, and the Australian ambassador to Switzerland was there. But right before the race, I walked out the back of the stadium, and I could see the lights of Silverwater.
Oh wow!
And it was like, as the crow flies, like 400 metres away.
Yeah.
And in 3 short years, my life had gone from there to here.
Yeah,
and I was like, even when I think about it now, like it was amazing, and that night actually was the first night I was honest with a stranger, about the life that I'd had, the drug addiction, the crime. And it was with the Australian ambassador to Switzerland. He asked me if I'd be interested in coming overseas, and at that point I had the condition of like 7 years no conviction before you could get access to a passport.
Yep. Right.
And then, fortunately for me, he gave me a diplomatic invitation to go to Geneva to the United Nations to tell my story in United Nations about, sort of the abuse we were subjected to as young people.
Yep.
And it just, it was the catalyst for change. It was, it set me on a trajectory where from 2001 to 2011, I travelled every single Australian embassy around the world.
Wow, yeah.
Providing cultural education, playing didgeridoo in Buckingham Palace twice.
Yeah, I've seen that too, bro. That's insane, man.
On the lawns of the White House. Shows with Neil Diamond in Las Vegas.
True.
It's like, it's pretty surreal, and then, sort of reputation builds in a really positive way. But, like I was talking about it last night on our online, platform with Centurions, is that early on, like in my professional career, everyone around me defined my success. They're like, oh, look how far you've come from. You should be so proud. But to me,
more than you're sort of trying to say, rather than letting you live in it.
Like everyone was like always pointing out where I'd come from, versus just, wow, look at what you're achieving. You know.
Yeah, and so I get that a little bit too. Completely different circumstances, but you're known from your bad side.
Yeah, and people want to measure you from the bad part versus just measure me as a person.
Yeah, forget that, bro. What are you there? That's right, 100%. I totally agree. Yeah.
So things are great. I then sort of climb the ranks in sort of the corporate political space. As a keynote speaker. Influencing and working with federal government.
Yep.
I then took a contract with the federal government in Dondale, when the Royal Commission into the kids abused up in Dondale.
100%, bro. As we've spoke, we've got a mutual friend, Shannon. So
Shannon, but like so you've got Dylan Voller.
Yep.
Who like he was one of the kids that we interviewed back then, and But what that did for me, I was working with like government people. I was using my story to help these kids articulate their story, and all of a sudden I really re-traumatized myself really badly. You coming for the podcast, lad?
Morning.
And really re-traumatized myself really badly, and I couldn't discern between some of the stories that these young fellas were sharing with me and my stories, and I was having nightmares. I was in a marriage that I didn't want to be in anymore. I was lost as what I was to be a father. The nightmares started haunting me, and all of a sudden I started medicating again with cocaine, and cocaine was all, like, I'm really lucky. I always say that if I had been a drinker, I wouldn't be here to tell this story. Because the alcohol would have pushed me over the edge.
100%.
I'm lucky that, at 22 years old, when my first son was born, I realised then that alcohol and me were not good friends. I I was violent, you know. And so
does the exact same thing to me, bro. Yeah.
I just realised that there was no place in it for me. So, you know, like, but I turned to cocaine. And then all the other addictions, you know, the addiction of, you know, so you're on the rack, the gambling,
yeah, bro,
the hookers,
yep,
the fucking weird places you end up in. Yep. You know, watching the world go by from a Meriton hotel room.
Yeah.
You know, like I was making great money. I had money in the bank. I'd signed a contract with Nestle. They just printed all of my artwork on the coffee tins that were in the, you know, like it was a $150,000 contract, and you know, I just blew it all.
Yep.
You know, every fucking cent. And
and it's right, man. You know, you don't, whether it's, you know, hard-earned money or fucking drug money, whatever it is, when you're in that world, you don't respect money whatsoever.
Well, I think, bro, like, probably the way we learnt about money as kids, which was fast money, we don't respect it, like, because it's easy come, easy go.
That's right. Yep.
And if you've got lots of it on you, it's a risk.
That's right, bro.
Because if the bullermen pull you over, the cops pull you, they take it off you no matter what.
Oh, mate, I had 20k taken off me at Hobart Airport. Like, never
like
seen the cent of it.
Like, even if it's fucking legitimately earned, they're suspicious, you know? So,
100%.
Our natural, I've had to, you know, probably in the last 2 years, it's only been, I've really tried to change my psychology of money.
Yeah.
Because, you know, one, you know, like, I've always taken care of everyone around me.
Yep.
And as a result, I've got nothing to show for all my hard work in a way.
Yeah.
And so I tried to change the psychology of, like, it's okay to have money, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
We don't have to spend it.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, it took me a while to pull myself out of that rut. I sort of went on this sort of 3-year bender, you know, that just was self-sabotaging, you know? Like, I was just...
Yeah.
You know, like, I was the life of the party dying inside, you know, always putting on you know, ringing up, oh, bro, let's get we weren't buying bags, we'd buy it by the ounce, you know. Like,
100%, bro.
And it
becomes the normal, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like,
and it ain't even, you ain't buying that amount to try and make money off it, you're buying it to use it, bro.
Yeah, that, like,
I laugh now, but I resonate so much, bro.
Yeah, like, and it was just, and, you know, the thing was, the bender it over, you know, the rack would end, everyone would go home, and you're left with the head noise.
Oh, bro. And cocaine especially, you know, I find it does nothing but fucking give me depression. You know, even like I was saying to you, like with the alcohol and shit, only a couple of weeks ago, the night of the gallon fucking Sunny Bill fight. Yeah. You know, I personally don't drink, bro, because like you said, I get violent, bro. I'm in a pub, I'll wait for some cunt to lock eyes with me and it's on. You know, that's just what the piss does to me. But it was a little bit of a different scenario this time. I'd gone across to the pub anyway, in Southport there to watch the fights, and you know, before I knew it, I was fucking 10 beers deep, fucking starting to get loud, and you know, and it ended up ending in a fucking boat getting knocked out, and so we got out of there real quick, went straight back to my buddy's house and got a bag, you know, and straight on the coke, and instantly, bro, instant anxiety as soon as I had it, and then like you said, I'd been blowing with the missus, so couldn't go home. Once I went home, bro, the depression, you know, fucking
the head noise, we hate it, like we turn on it ourselves, you know, like, and the thing is that I think sometimes my reflection today is like, the anxiety is based around, fuck, why did I do this?
Yeah.
Like, that's not the life I want anymore.
Nah, you know, so
we fight against what the truth of it, our own truth, and our own truth gives us anxiety because it fights against the drugs.
That's right.
Fights against the, you know, and so.
Yeah, I understand that all too well too.
I mean, COVID pretty much saved me, I reckon. You know, I say, because I was living here when the early stages of COVID came about. I was still heavy user. You know, like at the height of my youth, like, you know, like I was pumping an 8-ball at least a day.
Yeah.
You know, and that would go 4 days a week, and I'd sleep for 3.
Yeah.
You know, and like it just, And COVID came, it became a little bit harder to get gear.
Yep. And I'll ask too, obviously you've got a few years on me. I know myself, early 30s. When I get stuck up in a fucking, in a cycle like that again, my age plays a part in it, bro, and I'm like, fuck, I'm this age and I'm still doing it. Like,
right.
I can only imagine someone, with
like
a few years.
I was 38, 40, like, right, like the bender I went on my 40th birthday was disgusting. Like,
yeah.
I was in Melbourne, I was doing work in Melbourne, and my 40th, I'm like, fuck, just bags everywhere. Like, I remember, I was staying at the Sheraton Grand or the Park Hyatt or something like that. Yep. One of those snobby as shit hotels. Yeah. And bro, like I got nangs delivered at 6 a.m. and I walked down through the foyer in my nightgown.
Yep.
And these boxes and one of the bottoms of the box fell out. Oh, no. Coming back through the foyer
with the nangs.
Yeah, all the nangs. So they hit the ground. Ding 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 ding. And I'm like, it's for the hookers. I'm like, fuck. I look at it and think, fuck, bro. Like I was 40 years old carrying on I was just being a kid.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was running from myself. I was running from the truth. I was running.
What's if you don't mind me asking, what's your relationship life been like throughout all this? Because I know myself, relationships, bro. I'm a sucker for doing me nuts. So I find relationships are always a factor to why I did this or why I did that, or
Well, I got married early, and I had kids young, and then I got to a point where I was in a marriage I really didn't want to be in.
Yep.
I was terrified of losing my kids. My kids are my world.
Yep.
And as a result, I blew that marriage up. In everything I wanted to do, which was protect my kids, I hurt my kids. I'm really privileged today that, all my kids live with me. Like,
awesome.
My eldest boy, he's, engaged, but he lives in Helensvale.
Is that the lad I met the other?
No, that's the second boy.
Gotcha, yeah.
He's my big son. He's the second son, but he's much bigger than the older brother.
Right.
But but I guess through that chaos time, 38 to 42, there were no relationships were with cocaine, relationships were with hookers, relationships with pokey rooms.
Yep.
There were, just, there were no relationships. I was just chasing this feeling of being loved or desired, and that's probably the biggest thing,
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, as men, like, the vulnerability of that, but, like, I just want to be loved.
Yeah.
I just want to be nurtured. I want to be respected.
The thought of being alone, too, bro, is what eats me alive. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I can be alone out here, bro. Like,
same. Yeah.
But being alone in my house,
can't
do
to
it.
Bed alone.
Can't do it, bro.
Yep.
Can't do it. Like, it just...
Get in your own head and fucking...
Yeah. Those four walls around me just terrify me, So... I'm happy. I can walk. You're talking. I read on your, or not read. Sorry, I listened the other day. You're saying that you're going to do a walk for, suicide.
Get into that, bro. And we're actually on the route right now.
Yeah. So when do you want to do that, bro?
Well, I didn't realise, bro. I've come up with the idea, and then didn't realise that next month's World Suicide Prevention Month or whatever, or
September the 10th.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've come in to the game a little bit late for that, but I'm thinking, I've been chatting with bro K Fit, because obviously breaking bricks is going to be a big part of it, but I'm thinking maybe give myself a few months, and I'm hoping to try and organise it to happen during, like, between Christmas and New Year's.
Awesome, I'm in. No matter where you're like. I'm glad you didn't say September the 10th because I'll be in Bali, but...
Yeah, well, it's too early. I want to organise it properly, I've never done anything like this before, and, I lost a mate to suicide there, bestest mate in the world, bro, to suicide 6th of August last year, so it's just clicked over a year.
Yeah.
And you know, I've always to do it, bro. You jumped off a fucking bridge, you know, like it fucks me, you know. And,
Down to Tassie?
yeah, off the Tassie Bridge, bro.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That bridge has got some pain about it, hey? The story of that bridge.
Yeah, they reckon
there's bodies in cars down there, everything, you know.
Between 7 and 10 people a week jump off it.
Wow.
And Tassie's a small place, you know, like.
But you think about the history of that bridge, like for people that don't know, I mean, that bridge got destroyed.
That's
you know,
right,
a ship hit it. Ship hit it, and cars went in.
I forget the year, bro.
Yeah.
But it was back when my parents were young. You know, it would have been when you were young. I think maybe mid-late 70s.
Yes, it was before I was born. But you know,
okay,
I know the story. You know, because obviously I've spent a fair bit of time working in Tassie with the Aboriginal community down in Tassie.
Do you know Craig Everett?
I know the Everett family.
Yeah.
Everett family's a big family.
Yeah,
you know,
they're a big Aboriginal family, hey.
Yeah, so I did quite a bit of work. I did at Redfern prison, you know, with some of the mob in there. We did a project.
So I know, I'm not even sure if Craig's related to the rest of the Everetts that I know down there too, but I knew the old lady, Eileen. She's dead now, but we grew up around her. She was an old Indigenous lady.
Yeah, I mean, most of my work I did out on Cape Barren Island, which is that tiny little island off the coast of Lonnie. You know, but you know, we did a project down at Risdon, you know, where we took the mob that were in there, and we rebuilt these traditional canoes, and we canoed from mainland across the Bruny Island.
Yeah, man,
it was rad. You know, just giving fellas, you know, like the Tasmanian Aboriginal stories are really
dark,
tragic story, bro, because historians wrote they didn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, like, so while there was tragedy on the mainland, we were still here.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
The history books said Truganini was the last Aboriginal person.
Yeah.
And
last
you didn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, so they've been fighting not just to be seen, but to be recognised that they still are here.
That's right, bro. Yeah.
And you know, like that's the pain and trauma that the mob down there have gone through.
Yep, 100%.
You know, so I really had really amazing times down there with, you know, some of the brothers and sisters that I worked with over time. But
yeah, it's a beautiful place. You know, I think when you're born there and raised there, we take it for granted a lot. You know, like I couldn't wait to get out of the hole, man. That was how my mentality. But now I haven't been there for a long time. I look back and I think, you know, the scenery, everything down there is fucking beautiful. You know,
it's a small place, Tassie. You know, that's the problem.
It is, bro. You don't just know somebody. You know their extended family and their fucking. Or if you don't know them, you've 100% heard of them.
Yeah.
Or you know someone they're related to. You know, it's like it's that small. Like.
Yeah.
And then once you build a bit of a reputation down there, bro. That reputation sticks with you forever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
right,
you can't change down there.
I had grandparents living in Moona.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, so it's, you know, like I know the space. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly old Moona. Yeah. Moona, Dilton Park, Glenhawkey.
Yeah. So it's
can I just, while we're on that walk note, bro, so I'd quickly just say it's nothing set in stone yet, like I've said to you, but I do want to get it happening hopefully towards the end of December. But walking from here down to Point Danger.
Debar. Yeah, just on the other side of the border.
Yeah. I think it's about 38, 40 Ks or something. But we've also spoke, bro, off this. You're doing a walk.
Yeah. Well,
tell me about that.
Well, so last year, bro, last year myself and 9 other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, we did Mount Everest.
Wow.
And I carried the didgeridoo. Well, I didn't actually do it. A lot of the brothers and sisters that were on the walk, you know, they helped carry it.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I was a big unit trucking up that hill, bro. That was a hard walk, Mount Everest. It's the hardest thing.
You get right up there?
Yeah. No, so I got to 5,500 metres, which is base camp.
Yeah.
It's a whole different...
You get the whole fucking...
Right.
Yeah.
Disorientation.
The Spaniard video.
He didn't even,
so he didn't even get that far.
Yeah. So we walked it. He flew.
Yeah, that's why.
We walked it. It was amazing, bro. Life changing. But the hardest thing mentally I've ever had to do.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
You know, like the last day coming into like La Bouche, or the second last day, I was so fatigued, and the altitude I was like seeing things.
Yeah, full hallucinating. Yeah.
Full hallucinating, you know, like, and I got to the little tea house where at the end of that day I smashed a cheese sandwich, a toasted cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
And it took me about an hour and a half to come back to myself. Like, it was like,
wow.
I was full tripping, right? Like,
Wow. Was you worried? Like,
nah, not worried.
You knew what was going on. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I guess it's one of the things that, you know, after you've been on a few benders, you know, where day 3 and the shadows start coming to life.
Bro, the whispers, the fucking shadow
like,
people.
It's kind of like, you know, there was a part of me when I first hallucinated, I was on that walk and I was like, I've seen you before. That was my first thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, I know this game.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, so walked.
Yeah,
you know, we
raised
100K for the Black Dog Institute for Suicide Prevention last year.
Wow, man.
You know, doing that.
That's insane. Yeah. I think
I wanted to do a walk, and it's sort of just changed recently, but like actually changed yesterday. I've always wanted to walk from the Goldie to Uluru.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, like 2,800 kilometres, 2,600 Ks.
Wow, bro.
Anyway, we started planning the trip yesterday, and we realised that it's actually not doable in the amount of time that I wanted. Like, my daughter turns 18 on the 31st of October.
Yep.
And so to leave on the 1st of October, I won't be back in time.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I had to can it. I was like, I can't be away for my daughter's 18th birthday.
Is it going to happen at a later date though?
I'm going to do it I reckon by March next year. But what I am going to do is I'm going to walk across the Simpson Desert.
Yeah,
you know, which is one of the most unforgiving deserts in the world.
Yeah.
It's 14,
not too familiar with it. Yeah.
Yeah, 14 days. You go from Birdsville out in Western Queensland, and it crosses into the Northern Territory.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, westbound though.
Yeah, so 250 Ks it is.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So I'll do it like over 14 days, I reckon, and I'll do that starting on the 1st of October.
Yep.
And
that's like walking from Hobart to Launceston.
Yeah. And that's purely to raise money for mental health.
Yeah, awesome.
And the research of mental health, like you said, bro. Like, tragically, we've been affected by suicide.
Yeah, even if it hasn't been direct, you know, everybody knows something. It's been a part of every single person's life. Whether you know the person or it's somebody you know knows, or
it's so big in our Aboriginal communities. It's tragic, bro. Like, we're in a permanent state of grief.
Yep.
Because of the amount of deaths, amount of funerals. Like, one of my young brothers, you know, or you know, not the same age, similar age to me.
Yep.
Like, he took his own life this year in January.
Yep.
But you know, like, it's so big that, like, I wrote a poem once called "Swinging Tree Dreaming."
Yeah,
you know, where fucking suicide was never part of our culture, but it's now become part of our fucking law and our dreaming. You know, that it's taking so many lives. Suicide, not just, you know, and that's in our community, but across our country, suicide is just devastating. And you know, like, suicidal ideation was something that I went through in the really dark places of my, you know, in the height of my drug use.
Yep.
I attempted to take my life twice.
Yeah, wow, bro.
And by the hands of God, or whatever you want to call it, you know, I'm not a religious man, but I believe in something much bigger than us.
So do I, brother. 100%.
You know, there was one time I threw the rope over the 4x4, like, out the back. I just had a new veranda built, and the beam snapped straight in the middle.
Wow.
Like, this is a brand new beam. It shouldn't have snapped.
Yeah.
And it, you know, and the second time, the rope went tight on my jaw and not on my neck.
Wow, bro.
And I had to reach into my phone and call my neighbour.
Supposed to be, brother. That's what's happening.
I had to call my neighbour and say, "Can you come and get me?"
Yeah.
Like, fuck, bro. Like, at that point, I realised that I had a purpose to be here.
Yeah, wow, man.
But, like, you know, like,
heavy,
the darkness that you have to get to in that space. And that's why, you know, like, when people do take their own life, bro, like, I have an element of respect for it, because it is a big commitment.
Yeah, 100%.
And I know what pain they must be in for that. Like, when people take their own life, it's not a spare of the moment thought, bro.
Nah.
You don't just go, "Oh, fuck, I've had enough."
No, bro, it's a build-up.
You've been thinking about this for a long time.
Yeah, you're at peace with it.
Yeah. And it's only the chaos that it causes around everyone with unanswered, you know, all the answers that are left unopened. And
that's right.
But, you know, like, I got a lot, you know, I want to impact as many lives as possible. I guess that's why, you know, like when I saw you in the gym, bro, like I was straight up, like no hesitation, like no shame, like I wanted to come and say, you know, shout it out to you because
I won't lie, man, I fucking like that little bit of a chip on my shoulder, you know. I think I might have locked eyes with you in there first. I thought, fucking, this bloke fucking staring at me, or like, no way, like that's what I thought, you know.
Bro, that's our guard, right?
It is, man, you know.
Bro, like, that's our guard. Is like, what are you staring at, bro?
But you know, when you come up to me, man, like it made me feel on top of the world, you know. Like I must be doing something right. Like,
well, I've been training in there at World Gym at Ashmore. And I love that vibe, bro.
Yeah,
at first,
it's good now.
At first, I didn't want to go into World Gym. Like I was like worried about like that whole, like the gym junkie, the fucking roid heads.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what, the one thing I've gained from working out at World Gym, those guys, irregardless of whether they're using TES and SAS and whatever they're putting into,
it's a good vibe.
They are the fucking most genuine, helpful people I've ever come across. Once I got past that point, they are so happy to help me out, learning how to work out properly.
Yeah, mad, bro.
Like they are.
How long have you been training there for?
Like maybe a year and a half.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yep.
Yeah, and you know, like I genuinely love training in there.
We'll have to do a session, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Definitely.
But it's just this feeling of like a reflection.
Yeah.
When we've been
spin around, eh?
Yeah, otherwise we'll walk the D-bar before.
Fuck, bro, we're nearly at fucking Tweed Ends.
We've just done the walk. You know, like I genuinely love feeling healthy now. When you've been in that space of addiction and just how dark it gets, how unhealthy we are.
Yeah.
I love just waking up feeling alive. I love going to the gym. I love feeling strong. Bro, I love this walk.
Yeah,
you know?
Same, man.
Bro,
I do this most days. I don't usually come this far, but...
Yeah, bro, I'm glad you stopped us. We would have just kept walking.
I usually walk for 15 minutes or so, turn around and walk back. Do it most mornings, bro, and by myself too, you know. Usually I'm down here a bit earlier though, like the sun is usually just coming up. Now,
you two of us have got pretty long legs too. Yeah. We would have just kept walking.
Oh, 100%, bro.
I have a hard time walking with people. Everyone says I walk too fast.
Oh, same, man, same.
And I'm like, fuck, I've got to remember that.
I'm forever leaving the missus fucking for dead in the supermarket.
My missus gets so upset about me. And it wasn't until she pointed it out that she was like, don't you want to be seen with me?
Yep.
And I was like, fuck, like,
yeah,
that's not the case. You just walk really slow.
Yeah, my missus says the same thing, bro. Like, embarrassed of me, are you? Like,
I'm like, no, well, honestly, bro. And when when the missus is holding my arm, I'm dragging her along, and like, I've got to learn. But it's really hard to walk slow.
I feel like I look stupid. Like.
Yeah, you know, like so. Yeah, you've got to find the medium, bro. Like,
yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, look, it's been a pleasure doing this with you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. The first of many.
Yeah, and we'll definitely stay in touch, bro, for sure, and do some training and that, and wouldn't mind teaming up with someone in the gym and doing a bit of filming.
Yeah, bro.
You know,
that's something I've never done, you know, like.
Yeah, same, you know? Bro. So I have, but I got told off for having this thing in there, so it's got to sort of be unstaffed hours.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, we'll go and train at night.
Yeah, at night or early morning or whatever. Yeah. I think between 6 and 9 or something, the staff are on there, but...
It's chaos in there in the morning. It's so busy.
Yeah. I've been going, well, I haven't, not the whole time, but a few times I've gone, fuck, that water's cold actually, eh?
Well, the water's warmer than the sand that we were walking on earlier.
But yeah, I've found like a couple of times, you know, I've woken up 3 a.m. and like fucking can't sleep, fucking gonna go and pump out a session, you know, get to the gym like 3:30, 4 o'clock, bro, and it's not a bad time then, but it is a bit early.
Yeah.
But I find training of a night time, well, it's just what's been happening with me lately is if I train of a night time, I'll go home, go to bed, wake up stiff as a board. Whereas if I train of a morning,
you've got all day to loosen up, and limber up.
You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, nah, it's awesome, bro. I'll put all your links and that in the description for this anyway. And
yeah, thanks, fella.
Guys, go and check him out. Give him a follow. Doing fucking awesome things, man. And yeah, it's been my absolute honour, bro.
Nah,
appreciate you heaps, man.
Bro.